Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Vine Panther Presents. Today, Chris, Stacie, and I are going to talk about Lovecraft Country, Season 1, Episode 5. A lot of things happening. Stacie, where do you want to start?
Let's start with Ruby.
Ruby finds herself asking the question, who am I? It seems like. What do you think about her journey living the life of a white woman during segregation?
I thought it was interesting. She, in some ways, kind of enjoyed herself as a white woman, but in some ways, she was kind of like, she saw a lot of things that made her angry as a white woman, too. So, and then it was curious how she was treating the her black employee.
Tamara.
Like, you would think that she would be nicer or maybe give her a raise or something, but she was dogging this chick out. Like,
she took her job.
I mean, get over it. Like,
so I thought about that, right? Like, notice that she was going in on her with the rest of the white women, right? But like, as Chris pointed out, like, she really thought, she was like, well, she must be just as qualified as me. She must have at least graduated high school like I did. But when she found out she was like less educated than she was like, what the fuck? Like, how did this woman beat me? And like, even as a white woman with the privilege that she felt like she had, she still was like, fuck you, girl. Like she still had to put her foot on her. Like, that's, what does that say? I mean, what does that say about the struggle of people oppressed? You know, that they can't even like bind together to help each other out when they know they're both in a bad situation. I mean, it was rough. It was rough. But then she came to her defense, I guess. I mean, once she saw what the manager said to her and did to her, I guess she was like, I'll give one for the team. And you know, he got it in the end.
He did.
Pun intended. Oh man, it was a
most corniest jokes.
Come on, man, that was good. You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming.
Don't even say that word. Don't, because I know.
I'm gonna let that one go. We already did that one. I already did that one for the week. Like, it was, I knew something was gonna happen, right? I mean, she put the thing around his neck. Like, we've seen this before in other shows, you know, where the man is all of a sudden tied up, and for some reason this dumbass thinks this is a good idea. Men, don't do that dumb shit. Like, that's not a good idea. There's nothing sexy about being tied up to a bed and not being able to defend yourself. That goes both ways, but usually somehow men end up these dumbass positions for some reason.
Well, if you know the woman,
yes,
no, and you know, yeah, that's one thing, yeah. Or I don't know. It depends. If you're into dominatrix or whatever, you don't give a damn. But whatever.
he got a dry stiletto up his ass. Like, that's not. I mean, she didn't even spit on it.
He sucked it first, so it had some lubrication on it.
What's up?
He sucked it first.
Remember? That's right.
I had a little bit of lube.
There you go. In a rough spot, put some spit on it, and it'll go in just fine.
Saliva is the best lubrication.
Apparently.
Several shows.
In a consistent manner. When things go up the ass, spit is necessary. The more you know. So, I just digress. So, with Ruby going through this process of, like, she bumps into a black kid, it's the black kid's fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, cops come, beat his ass. Like, if it wasn't for her, if it was any other white woman, that poor kid probably got beat up, arrested, if not murdered right there. And the sad thing is, I saw that happen.
What else you think, Stacie? Well, like, what do you want to say about Ruby and her journey?
Well, when I first saw William giving her like the elixir or potion or whatever it was, I was like, if he can turn her into a white woman, he can certainly turn Christina into a man. That was my first thought. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe Chris is right. Maybe he did turn himself, or she did turn herself into a man. Hence, we have William.
Yeah, you never saw him in the same spot before. So it's like, you know, and one of the big indicators for me was just how much it changed so much in the book. That I was like, how would certain things make sense? And I was like, William doesn't even have that big of a character in the book. And there was no Christina, but there was a Caleb. And it was all about men having power. So that's why I was just like, and then it hit me. I'm like, they both have white hair. You never see them in the same room together. I'm like, Clark Kent and Superman. Like, you know what I mean? Like, straight up. That's, that's just, so I was just like, okay, 1 + 2 is 5. Just kidding. But, but yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
It was interesting how they're on doing the duality of white women got it made. Black women are oppressed, right? But then the white woman, it's like, I'm still a woman, right? Like I still can't make it in a man's world, and I can't be all I am because I'm interrupted, as a woman, which I thought was kind of interesting. But Stacie, like, what do you think of her? What would you do in that situation? If you were like, I could be a white woman for the rest of my life, or I'll go back being a black woman. Like, what do you think was going to her mind? I mean, in that kind of duality.
Obviously she had her eyes on a specific job, so she went after her job that she wanted, and she got it. So when she approached the manager, I was like, does she have a thing for white men? She want to screw a white man? I didn't think it was for vengeance. I thought she was like, okay, well, let me just go get me a white man right quick. But when it turned, I was like, oh no, she's gonna like mess this guy up pretty bad. And she did. But I mean, I guess she did it for a good reason, but she was dogging the girl too. But I don't know. Remember she kept going out, and then William was like, oh, you didn't spend any money I left for you. And she was like, well, I didn't have to. Like, I guess you, as a white woman, you could just go out and eat and drink and be merry and don't
for
have
free.
I was just like, really? Let me try this white woman shit for a day.
She got free ice cream and shit. I was like, is that the white woman perk? Free samples.
I think she was just happy that she didn't have like people kind of side eyeing her anymore. To her, that was like her freedom, if anything. Like just the whole just like one thing that Christina / William didn't understand was that, especially to a black person, to not always being seen as like an animal, you know what I mean, all the time, was like probably the best gift you can ever give someone, rather than just some money. You know what I mean? So that's why I think she was just so like she took the elixir, but she she got stuff for free, but I think she just liked the idea that she was able to walk on the street without people saying, "Hey, no colors allowed," or, and just crap like that. She used to always seeing, you know what I mean? Or maybe men kind of staring at her that she don't typically, usually get from men, kind of just kind of looking at her, you know what I mean? So, she just enjoyed that type of freedom, you know what I mean?
But so it's interesting, like say like how she treated Tamara, like I said, was interesting, right? Like you could still tell that she was still upset by the fact that this woman took the job, like I said, that she wanted, and she just assumed that therefore she must have been more qualified. And when she found out that she was less educated than her, she showed more like venom, and anger towards her than her white women counterparts by far. And that's, it's interesting that kind of, oh yeah, I mean, besides with the man, she ass raped, what I'm saying, like she clearly did not
remember what that one girl called her in the back room.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say,
but I'm saying, I mean, towards her, I'm saying she's.
Oh, you mean to her face? Well, I mean, none of them talked to her in their face, but but okay. But I catch your point.
I'm saying Ruby, she was much more polite, to these women who clearly were racist. I mean, still, what I'm saying, and she did not put any of that as their manager. She could have fired them. She could have reprimanded them. Huh?
When they were downstairs and they were trying on shoes and clothes, and she was like, "Go back to work," and she was like, "No." They were like, "No, come try on the clothes with us," and she was like, "Okay," and she's like strutting around and still. I was like, "Well, can you like fire them and then just hire some more black people?" Like,
yes,
that's probably what I would have done.
I would have had them mopping up floors. I would have been like, what's the job a black person would be doing right now? White woman, you will be mopping these floors until I tell you you're done. Like, and Tamara will supervise you. Like, I just couldn't believe that she used her power against Tamara, as far as the women was concerned. And I don't know. But in the end, you know, it seemed like she came up. But let's talk relationships. So Caleb was the book name, Chris?
Yeah, Caleb. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was Caleb. But then, I mean, there was a William too. There was a William as well, but that basically kind of had the same job as far as like what you saw in episode 2. But the main protagonist of it was Caleb Braithwaite, and not Christina. So
and Caleb had a relationship with Ruby. Was it similar to what we saw in this?
Well, I mean, other than Caleb was Caleb. Caleb didn't take the elixir himself, but yeah, no, it was very similar. It wasn't like, yeah, like even like the description as far as like how Ruby felt when like she was turning back to her old self, like as if she was a werewolf and she was like peeling the clothes off, you know. And that's the thing about the book too. It kind of made a lot of like a lot of connections to like to like other horror stories and stuff, like try to throw parallels to, like, for example, like the werewolf and whatnot. The only other difference is, I guess, was that and again, so the name of this episode is called The Strange Case. If you couldn't tell by behind me, I mean, you know, I'm kind of covering it a little bit, but it's the novel The Strange Case of Jekyll and Hyde. And that's essentially, in the book, the chapter is called Jekyll and Hyde's Park. And it starts off with Ruby being as a little girl asking a question about reading the book of Jekyll and Hyde. Said, I don't understand. So Hyde is the bad guy. And you know, and then I think it was like her mother, somebody said, no, not necessarily. It's Jekyll. Jekyll's already the bad guy. Hyde was just already inside of him. Jekyll just let him out. You know what I mean? It's like basically trying to say that everybody had like everybody has that thing inside of you. It is up to you to bring them out to the outside, you know. And if you even read Jekyll and Hyde, like actually read it and not some of these crazy adaptations of it, you can kind of figure that out too, you know. So that's essentially what I kind of felt with this episode with Ruby, was that it just or just episode periods. It just kind of seemed like more just being comfortable in your own skin, you know, literally and figuratively. You know what I mean? Just in the sense of like, she always felt like she wasn't pretty enough. There's always Letty. Letty's always like getting things, and she's always spoiled. Her mother spoiled her. She's, you know, like just always think, you know, it's like she got the inheritance. Everything is given to her. You know, she missed out on a job or whatnot. They gave it to another black girl that was much skinnier and prettier. You know what I mean? All this other stuff, you know. So given and the same thing with Montrose. Like Montrose is like just the ideal, like him, I guess is another thing of like Jekyll and Hyde. It's like him suppressing of who he is inside of him. Like it's already there, you know, but it's about being comfortable in your own skin. As we saw in the journey throughout the episode, we saw for both characters that at the end of the day, they were like, okay, I'm okay. Like, you know, the moment Ruby smashed that elixir, she was like, I'm cool with who I am. I'm good, you know. And Montrose, like at the end wound up kissing Sammy, like he embraced who he was. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of parallels in that, and obviously they kind of bring up the idea of like the butterfly in the certain stages that you go through, but you know, with the butterfly as well. So more or less it followed the book. I mean, the Montrose thing, obviously, because again, there's nothing that says that, you know, as I said previous episodes, that Montrose is, you know, is gay or anything like that. The chapter was purely on just Ruby, not even anything on Tick. And that's the thing too. I guess the show, every episode, they're trying to make sure that all the characters are in it. In the chapter, in the different chapters, it's focused on one particular character. So I guess that's pretty much the biggest difference, is that the chapter is all Ruby and Caleb / Christina. You know what I mean? And that's it. So, yeah.
So previously we discussed the Montrose likely being gay. We discussed the fact that, you know, that since Caleb had a relationship with Ruby, and now that Christina is Caleb, that she would likely have a relationship with Ruby, you know, and we ended up, you know, having that. But like she was William, So I'm saying, Stacie, like, what do you think? Like, I don't know. So if you had sex with a man and then you found out it was a woman, could you still love the woman because it was actually a man inside? Like, it was her inside? Like, could you see past the fact? No,
Yeah.
that's deal breaker.
It's a bit deceitful, don't you think?
All right, you could say that. But and that's what I was thinking. Like, I didn't know. So in this episode, it seemed like the relationship, so Christina needed Ruby to help her plant that thing in the sheriff's office, right? Like, she needed a black maid to be in there, someone who was invisible that no one would pay attention to. So she needed her. But I'm like, was her relationship, her having sex with her as William, was that part of the package, or do you think she actually has feelings for her at some level?
Yeah.
And does that turn into something? I mean, I don't, is this?
No, Christina's using all of them. No, you got to remember, like, Christina doesn't, that was to make sure that all of them can do their bidding. And the only way you can do that is to make them, actually, like, feel nice, feel good, feel all this other stuff. The same reason why Letty got that big old house and whatnot. And, and you'll see with other characters, they're going to get some nice stuff too. You know what I mean? So it's like, so it's a ploy. It's a ploy. Like, I was like, yeah, see, like, I gave you some awesome loving that maybe another person is giving you, showing you all this attention from a good-looking white man that you don't typically get, and I gave you the idea, like, just the ability to have the power that you always strive to have, because this is magic, and with magic, anything is possible. Just to get in the good graces, just so you can do his bid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's. So that's no, there ain't no love.
All right.
Just like the house, like, as we found out with the with the Winthrop house, the house was only given to Letitia just so they can have a good way to infiltrate and to find, like, missing pages and to do some other biddings. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's all ploys.
So the book, so you see that Tick and is working on the book, and Letty, they got some loving,
we got to go back to what even led into that. Talk about, like, the part where, like, him finding out what his father did and just the way he unloaded on the dude. Oh my God.
Wait, think about that, Stacie. Was he justified?
They both have anger issues. Like, I mean, obviously it's been inherited. His father beat him, and then he beats his son, and then apparently Tick takes it out on Letty. It's a lot of aggressiveness on this show. Like, so was he justified in have beaten his father to death? I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I would like to know where that body went. I'm sure it's in the basement with all the rest of the other bodies, but shit.
Wait,
it's gonna start to smell, huh?
What are you talking about? What
The siren's body, like, after he cut the throat and dragged it across the damn house. Like, how did nobody see that? But whatever. But I mean, so
dust, because remember, she started out like being a skeleton in the first place, so.
They should have showed that. I mean, last time you saw her, she was bleeding out and fucking all over the floor and everything. He still got blood on his fingers. I mean, like, you would think that he would be like, I got to get rid of his body, like something. But anyway, she did.
Is Chalky White / Omar Little. He knows how to get rid of bodies. Okay,
from past roles on HBO. So to this, like, this generational violence, right? Like, I for some reason I'm noticing, right? Like, when Montrose took Sammy, very violent, right? Like you can't just, like, kindly make love. Every time Tick gives it, the fucking Letty, it's violent, like, it's aggressive, like, it's not like they have issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got issues, and I'm saying, I know Letty, this is her first time with a man, and she wants to love somebody. I don't think it's a good idea to get a relationship with a dude who has a history of violence. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna tame the savage beast. Like, he's gonna let that shit go one time, and you're gonna be the target, and it ain't gonna be hot loving. You know what I'm saying? Like she might want to get some counseling for this dude. Like, this, he has some issues that he needs to work through. And yeah, that's, I don't know. It don't. I think
or is it only trigger when he's around his father or thinks about his father? See, that's the thing. I feel like if you separated him from his father, he's good. I feel, you know what I mean? Like, if you think of, like, so I don't know. I mean, but we'll see now that he's away from his father.
What do you think, Stacie?
Well, he had that conversation where he was saying that I guess he was trying to suppress it, and then once he went to the military, it came up. Like, he was very violent in the military. So I just think that whenever he's under any type of stress, that's his outlet.
And their first time in sex was not, again, it was not roses and wine. I mean, he saw her dancing and was like,
he was mad.
He was mad, and he was like, that's what I got the penis for. Like, he took it out on her. I'm saying, I'm like, what the fuck is it? Like, this is not. There's something wrong with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, the 2 times they had sex, it was in a high emotional situation. He was upset, and that's how he expresses himself. And that's not the basis for a good relationship. Like, there's gonna be some issues, I think. But I was concerned for her. I don't know. I mean, I just think it don't look like a healthy relationship foundation. No.
Well, you want her to be with Tree?
I'm just somebody who knows how to talk to you, who can express themselves without beating somebody's ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying. But I mean, it's cool. I mean, they're gonna go somewhere. We'll see where all that, how that turns out. But like that, yeah, Montrose, finally accepting, like, said who he is. Like, he was picked up and carried, with his people and everything. I was like, oh, it was beautiful. He finally kissed his man on the mouth. That's a beautiful thing. And transformation, like, Sammy transformed into who he is, like, in a sense, right? Like, I thought it was like a lot of people, again, like, transformation taking on new forms, like, and who's the true representation of who you are. I thought that was pretty cool. What is Montrose what is Tick gonna do when he finds out about his dad? Like,
more violence.
Yeah, I mean, like I said in the previous episode, I mean, like, it's gonna be brought up, but I don't think it's gonna be a crucial part of the plot. You know what I mean? So,
the way he asked his dad how he knew about that guard, it's a conversation. Like,
yeah, but it was also like I didn't. Okay, again, conversation is different than a major plot in the show. Is my point. Like, they have many conversations in the show, but they're not all big plot points. Is my point. So, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm just saying the conversation. Now, the whole thing with George might be like a big plot, you know what I mean? But him coming out that he's gay won't be, it might lead into the George conversation and be like, hey, why'd you lie to me? So if you want to talk about that, of why you lied to me, with that, sure. But it sounded like you were just talking about just him being gay straight up.
No, I'm saying the two will be connected. It will be, oh, this is who you really are. I'm cool with that. Is that why you beat me? It's gonna be something involving that, and I think it's gonna lead into Uncle George is his daddy. Like, I think that's how it's gonna roll into that. Because there's a conversation. Like, did you ever love mom? What does this mean? And da 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 da. So I think it's probably how that's gonna roll out. But I mean, we'll see. But now we Jaya, what's her name? Is that right? The lady in South Korea. What's her name?
Gia, something like that.
Gia.
It's called a girl from South Korea.
Oh, okay. So the woman in South Korea. The whole next episode is focused on her. He did mention her Tick did mention her to Letty. We saw her face a little bit, like, oh, those are one before me. I was like, yes, but now I know this is real love, girl. Like, I'm with you. What's up, Stacie? You think they're gonna work out? You think they got a future? Am I being too hard on him?
You mean Miss Korea?
No, that's done. I'm sure she's some kind of wizard or some shit. She must have said something prophetic that when he was deciphering the language of Adam or whatever she said was where he subscribed, and he was like, oh shit, and that's why he called her. Like, she said something to him that's in the book, and that's why he asked, like, who are you, or what are you? But no, I'm talking about Letty and Tick. I mean, you think they're gonna?
I mean, from a movie sense, I guess they'll stick together once he finds out she's pregnant, and then they have to give birth to a wizard baby. Like,
I was thinking about that, right? I was like, nobody believes in condoms. I'm like it's like it'd be interesting. They have to continue the bloodline. I mean, this show has to continue, right? So they gotta continue the bloodline. So there's a point she probably will be pregnant, and then somebody might take their baby. Like somebody may be like, hey, we need some
like
wizard
Ghostbusters
blood.
2? Huh? You mean like Ghostbusters 2? Like this baby is the key.
Hey, it wasn't executed very well, but what's up?
you know what the baby's name is gonna be? Keisha. And then she's gonna get kidnapped and held for ransom.
Keisha's get kidnapped, bro. That's facts.
All of them.
All of them. Your name Keisha. Bad things are happening to you. Like you getting murdered, you getting kidnapped. You may be kidnapped and murdered. You know what I'm saying?
Trafficking, all kinds of food.
All kinds of shit. Like don't name your child Keisha. It don't work out for them. But anyway, the more you know. What, shot in the head, right? By your best friend Tasha? Yeah. Anyway.
What you think about the idea that it does look like perhaps that Montrose was probably trying to protect his son with the very last thing that you saw, what it said, like it spelled out die, right? You know what I mean? Like, which most likely means that there's going to have to be a sacrifice in order to open up the portal. You know what I mean? I think that's the thing. I think even though Montrose is he is a complicated man, you know, like shout out to Shaft, but no joke. It seems like he's trying to protect his son. You know what I mean? It didn't look very relevant at the time, but at the moment, it kind of looks like he's trying to protect his son from being a sacrifice for the whole, for this whole grandeur of the Orta. So.
I think he's always been trying to protect his son, but as Letty pointed out, look what he does to do it. Like that, like the ends don't necessarily justify the means. You know, like if he's murdering people and doing other random shit, like
well,
may not be a good
the woman's already murdered to begin with. You can't. I mean, you want to kill something that was already killed to be. You know what I mean? I don't know. It was like killing. I don't know. I'm sorry. I hear you. And yes, she was very valuable as far as like reading the language of Adam. But if you're saying like either this person dies or you just kill someone that was barely alive for like literally like 3 hours, barely 2 or 3 hours to begin with, that 2 and 3 hour person going to have to go. You know what I mean?
I guess, man. That's a bit okay. I mean, I'll say he murdered. I mean, he did a lot. He burned some shit. He will hurt more people if necessary to keep his son safe. Like I'm pretty sure. Like he will. He's already shown that. But we'll see. Hannah. Let's talk about Hannah. So Hannah pops back up while Tick is passed out. He has a vision of his ancestor running with the book. I still feel like the book means something. Like that book that she has in her hand is somewhere and is important. But did anybody catch what she said to him? Was anybody able to read her lips?
Nah, I mean, it almost likely come up in another episode, but
All right. Because I was like, what is she mouthing? I was like, and then he got set on fire. Like, is that going to be a thing? Like,
I feel like that fire thing was supposed to represent Winthrop when no, I'm sorry, not Winthrop, but Titus, a great white, when he burnt in the fire. You know what I mean? That's how I looked at it, but Or maybe it could have been Tick if he would have hesitated and just didn't maybe trust Hannah and to just like, because you saw he stopped and he just kind of hesitated, like I don't know if I should follow you, and that's what killed him. You know what I mean? Right. So I guess there's 2 ways to kind of looking at it. So because he was also dressed up, and that's why the way he was dressed up made me think that maybe it was Titus. Because they don't always wear the big robes as you saw from like Officer Lancaster, the captain, in the board meeting, not the board meeting, the I don't know, the big party that
Ruby the order party.
Yeah, the one that Ruby was forced served in, which I thought was awesome. I love the look she had, like she was like giving people orders, like here, like she didn't say here, but it's like you saw her and feel like this, like just take it, like. I was like, yo, she's the worst. He did not want to be there. Like, how dare you, like, make me do this shit? Like, I was like, you know what I mean?
I liked her face when she thought William gave her a pretty dress. He's like, oh, like there's, I gotta, like, right? You see her face? She's like, oh, he left me something. I get to be a white woman and I get to wear a dress at a party? No, you're a black maid. That's what you are. I mean, you're a servant. Like Stacie, what do you think about her stuck in that room with a dead man? Apparently, was brought back to life.
I was totally confused. Why was he in the closet? And why was the other guy like half black and white? Like he had like a black man's torso. You
Oh,
know
he did?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, well.
His torso was brown, and then the rest of him was white.
Well, yeah. Well, you notice that, and you also notice that on Williams. Well, I don't know if they'll show that with Christina because they kind of jumped to black, I guess, when she like emerged out of Williams, like when she was naked or whatnot. But you notice when William didn't have a shirt on, you notice like he had, So just pay attention to that. So.
Okay. Yeah. No spoilers. No spoilers. So what do you think, Stacie?
I don't know. I was confused. Like, you just swapping body parts? Like, you keep like a live dude just in case you need an extra arm or something? Like,
well, see, that's what that doctor.
Did you hear the line? He said like he had, it was all that loot or whatnot, and he said hey he said, oh, he's still mouthing. He said, damn, even the dead can't talk, can still talk. He said, well, yeah, I'm still trying to figure out, still trying to get the idea of where he left the loot. Talking about the guy in the closet. Yeah. So I think he brought him back to find out where. Basically, it's like whatever side conversation he had as far as there's some money set aside. He brought this dude back to torture him again to find out where the hell this mysterious loot is. So basically, to show that not all magicians are good. You know what I mean? Well, not that Christina's good necessarily, but some of them are just straight up just evil.
Well, if you believe the story that William told, like Christina, you talked to the doctor that was killing all those black folks, in the house. Like he's the one that,
Yeah, Epstein, right, doctor? Yeah,
doctor. Yeah, like he was the one that figured out like how to bring people back to life and how to do the whole morphing thing. And I think that's why when you saw their bodies, the tall man had the baby head and all that kind of crazy shit. Like I think there was like a lot of Frankenstein shit going on, like that. Like he was trying to, figure out how to bring people back from the dead, and maybe that, they were the testing subjects until he got it right, and then Christina was able to figure out how to do it. And that guy in the closet is, one of, like example of how the technology works. That kind of reminds me of Get Out, though, right? You need a black body to come back, like white people need to live inside a black person's body. I don't appreciate that. But anyway, all right then.
Yeah. So what you think about the Cardi B usage? I think we tried to bring it up before, but I think certain things got cut. So
technical difficulties. It's like
no WAP, but we got Bodak Yellow and we got Money. Money. When I heard Money, I was like, of course, and I was like, all right, the usage of it, I respect. But then when they use it again, I was like, okay.
We told you.
Okay.
Okay. We told you Cardi was coming. But it went with the red shoes, right? Like when she walked away, in the stilettos, like it went with the song because the meat was falling off her shoes, so that was kind of poetic.
Poetic, huh? Yeah.
How do you think that manager is gonna feel next time he sees her? Like, I mean, he ain't gonna say nothing to nobody, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna be like, I remember you and what happened to me. Is Tamara gonna be okay? Does Ruby give a fuck? Like, does she really want that woman fired? Like, I don't like. I like to see Tamara later to see like, does she still work there? Does Ruby make amends or something?
I think the manager is probably gonna take a leave of absence.
Yeah, because seriously, remember he's tied up, right? He's tied up, so someone's going to find him naked with a bloody ass.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So if anything, he'll probably quit. Most likely, he will quit. You know what I mean? So. And something tells me too that Ruby, especially what Ruby witnessed from not just the manager but the white woman, like the white girls, and the way they kind of treated both her and Tamara, that she wouldn't probably even step foot in that store again. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I think she only stepped foot in there to just apply to begin with. So it's yeah, I'm gonna say Tamara might be all right as long as the manager, just assuming that the manager probably won't be back.
Yeah.
I mean, and then not only that, he's surrounded by blood because he got like these like shedding skin, the shedding skin that's all around him now.
That you bring that up, I really thought all those transformations were amazing to watch, right? Because the first time you could see her eyeball inside the white woman's mouth when William cut her out of it, and then like to see how like it evolved to more and more graphic, and then her last one, I was like, that is HBO back there, baby. Like they got the money to make special effects look good. I was very impressed, but I thought they were gonna see a black woman surrounded by white skin and blood and be like, who did you murder? Like I thought that was gonna be a thing. Like I was like, oh shit, like how you gonna explain that? I didn't chop up this white woman. I came out of this white woman. Never mind. Just trust me. I was like, it's hard to explain that. It's like that's a crime. Like even 2020, you getting arrested. Like you ain't walking away from that situation. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, any predictions for next week, Stacie, as we move to South Korea?
South Korea. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I'm interested in hearing the music.
Oh yeah. Well, what's gonna be in the soundtrack?
Yeah.
Wu-Tang. I'm going for Wu-Tang.
That's
you Asian? I'm pretty sure they don't know. It's all Asian. I'm pretty sure I do Wu-Tang.
China, damn. That's racist.
It's fine. I mean, any South Korean rappers? I mean, anyone?
Yes, Jin. There's one. His name is Jin. He's actually a dope rapper. Actually, he's
okay. There you go. So Chris.
The boy bands, the BT.
Huh? Yeah. I was gonna say you got the pop. What do they call
K-pop?
K-pop. Yeah, but seriously, it doesn't. I don't think it matters. They're going to probably keep it like just regular music, whether in South Korea. Like they'll have South Korean music. I think like old school South Korean music, whatever. But they'll probably also mix it up and put like American music in it anyway. You know what I mean? It doesn't. I don't think that really make it different. So, but they don't need. I guess my point is they don't. I don't think they're looking for like modern day like South Korean rap necessarily, just because like the last 2 episodes just happened to have that. Just
all right, man. All right. I'm still. Look, I was right with Cardi. We said.
Well, who you got for the next one? Who you got for the next one? So,
no.
As a matter of fact, didn't we all kind of agree that Cardi would probably be the next one? Yeah.
I said. Yeah. I mean, I said it. You're like, okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah. I was like, WAP. I was like, yeah, they need to have WAP.
Well, that'd be next season. That'd be season 2.
That was season 2. Yeah.
That'd be season 2. Especially if she takes a woman's form again and she comes out the WAP. No, too much. Okay, never mind. Probably public enemy before it goes. On that note,
I feel like with her, I feel like with homegirl in South Korea, maybe we'll probably discover that maybe she's the one that kind of found like maybe she has like magic herself, perhaps. Yeah. And she's the one that kind of sought out Tick and developed a relationship because she probably probably sensed something inside of him because of his ancestry. So we might possibly see that, especially like in the preview they kind of alluded to like like something like again them having like snakes and whatever coming out of people and stuff. So we're going to see that. We're going to probably see a little bit of Saving Private Ryan in episode 2, and probably and most likely Tick being probably treated like shit too because he's in the military mixed with both black and white soldiers. You know what I mean? Yeah. So so that'll be pretty dope. And actually, and because this is a flashback scene, who knows? Maybe there'll be like phone calls or whatnot with George. So maybe we'll see George again. No, but it was letters. I think George said he wrote letters.
Yeah, he did.
And not no phone call. So that's gonna be interesting. The book obviously didn't cover this part. So who the hell knows with this one? But that's what it looks like the direction is going towards at least. So.
All right. Stacie, any final thoughts?
Not for me. How about you, David?
I'm let it go, man. I'm gonna say I hope you enjoyed the episode. I did. I would say it was hard to watch at times. Yes. Now, okay. So Crisco Vaseline would be better. Perhaps just
Lubriderm lotion.
Lubriderm something. KY, Astroglide. Just spit, not spit. Like this. Let's get beyond spit. It's too much. It's too much.
Corona's out there. You can't do that no more.
Yeah, that's right. I'm saying that's just not sanitary. It's corona out there. You know what I'm saying? You gotta think about that. P-Valley season 2. So anyway, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment on the video, share the video. Let us know what you think is gonna happen with Lovecraft Country. What do you think is gonna happen in P-Valley, just in case you're watching it. You see any more similarities? Besides that, maybe I took it too far. All right. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you again.